Hey, everybody. Welcome to another exciting Scaling Brokerage Community podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Jen. Jen, go ahead and introduce yourself, your company, and give us a little background about yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's cold right now over here. I'm in the Houston area. So like you said, my name is Jen Perez. I'm the broker and owner of Texas Skyline Properties. Just a little bit about myself. I've been doing real estate for over, just trying to talk about it, about 15 years. My brother is a broker, so that's actually who I started with my brother. And I was underneath him for a while. And, one of the things that got me into real estate was right after the financial crisis in 2008. A lot of people, especially here in the Houston area, foreclosures were happening everywhere. And so, my brother said, "Hey, you should get your real estate license." I have a legal background, so I was going to school for legal studies, and I was working with an attorney for, like 14 years also. So I never thought about changing my career. So yeah, I got my real estate license, started, doing that. It was very, very difficult during that time because, as you know, there was no internet, there was no, Zillow was barely beginning, there was no social media like it is now. So everything was just difficult. And so because of that, it was one of the most challenging times, but I grew. During that time, I actually, one of the reasons why I became a broker, I was kind of at the lowest at my time. I was going through a divorce, and I was kind of on my own with three boys and making the money just as a real estate agent sometimes, doesn't cut it. At the same time, I was doing it part-time. So, once I was at that lowest point of my life, I kind of, took the time to, yeah, let me try to get over it. Once I got over it, it was kind of like, I have to do something else in my life. And I decided to get my broker's license. I didn't really want to sponsor anybody, and I wanted it to be on my own. But there was, throughout the years, I made relationships with some of the agents, and they really liked how sometimes they never got the training that they needed. And so a lot of times I took over both sides and I trained them through it because I was representing my client. So I wanted to make sure the deal closed. So some of those agents heard that I became a broker and they said, "Hey, what do you think about sponsoring me?" And that's how it kind of began to start sponsoring some agents. So I could go on with my story.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, I like hearing everybody's story. They're all very unique, and but
Yeah.
wh- but one thing that always is a common thing is building relationships. That's what
Yeah.
everybody says. So,
Oh, for
so
sure. I think from the very beginning, that's the most important thing, just to build a relationship.
So you came in around 2007, 8 during the fallout, and did you get into short sales? Did you do short sales REO?
S- So I did a couple short sales. The only reason why and it's just honestly, I didn't do them because it just took longer to close, just because they had to, get approved by the bank, things like that. So I only did probably a few of them. I actually got my certification for short sales and foreclosures because I wanted to be an expert in my field. I always try to, whatever it is that I want to focus on. And, during that time, you're trying to find what you want to do, what you want to focus on. And so I did that, and I liked it. The only thing is that it was very emotional for the seller. And I think that kind of really took a little bit of a toll for me because a lot of them, I mean, they're losing their house. It's the biggest investment, the biggest thing. And so not only are you a realtor, you're a counselor, you wear all of these hats in that transaction. It took a little bit of a toll on me. So I kind of switched what I wanted to do. But yeah, it was right after, it was around 2009, 2010. I mean, we were still feeling the effects, even though it happened in 2008. we were still feeling the effects in 2009, 2010 of the foreclosures here. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Okay. So let's talk about marketing your brokerage. What do you do to market your brokerage? What's your secret sauce there?
well, so that I guess that's one of the things that I love to do is social media. I have a podcast. The podcast doesn't have to do with real estate. I do incorporate real estate in it. The podcast is called Her Opinion Show. And the great thing about that is we have all of these small business owners and all of them, that's where I market, my business to. We do social media. Um, and one of the things that I did, the last few months is hire somebody to do the social media because, like I said, when we started, social media wasn't a thing, and now it's mostly everything for a brokerage firm.
Hmm.
This is the only thing. Podcasts are a great way to open the door for people to come and that's how we do our marketing.
Okay. So off of that, are you able to recruit agents off this podcast? Like, do agents come to it and stuff like, or see it and then be like, hey, I saw you on your podcast. I want to come work for you.
Yeah, so on Instagram mostly is where I've gotten more of the the messages, the direct messages where they want to come join our firm. As of right now, I'm kind of a little bit because I'm a smaller firm. I'm a boutique firm, and so I kind of want to pick and choose who I want to, be on my team.
Hmm.
I'm doing a restructuring this year, so that's one of the things that I want to really focus on is the people that I do want to recruit, because a lot of times we just kind of whoever wants to join, let's just do it and just work it out. I kind of want to be a little bit uh, more picky,
Yeah, more
you
picky.
know.
No, I totally. So you want to make sure you get you want to build the right avatar so that way you're getting the right people in front of you, not just anybody and everybody, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because every agent that is out there, it's part of me.
Mm.
It's our reputation, it's our brokerage firm. So I want to know that whoever is representing me is, it's kind of like I want them to have the same vision as I do, the same focus as I do in the brokerage firm. And I think with the agents that I do have this year has been my goal. And I guess we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but to grow my firm, and not be so picky. Because, there's some, it's kind of like dating. You got some really high standards, and that's not going to work. you know, it's like he has to be 6 feet tall. He has to do this. That's realistically, it's not always going to happen that way. So, like some of my friends that are single, I tell them, you got to kind of, I'm not trying to say lower your standards, but some of these things are unrealistic. And it's kind of like the same thing with the agent. There's not going to be that perfect agent, but
Okay.
at least the core values and what's really important have to be there.
Okay. Well, how many agents do you currently have?
So right now I have 12 agents that are with me. Six of them are full time. The other six are part time. And I guess that's where the restructuring is, where I want more agents that they want to do real estate for full time, because I feel like, yes, I love to work with the other agents because they're trying to do like a side hustle, but really, the only way that you are going to succeed in real estate is basically doing it full time, taking that risk and jumping all in, you know.
Yeah, you kind of in poker, you have to push your chips all in and go for it. Well, I mean, worst thing you can do is fail, but if you don't try, then you never know, right?
Exactly. And I always, tell all the agents there's enough business here in Houston. There's a lot of brokers here in Houston, a lot of firms here, but there's enough business to go around. You just have to, like any job. You are your own boss. So you're going to be as successful as you want to be. So
Yeah.
that's what I always push them to.
All right. So with since we're talking about recruiting, give me your secret sauce. What do you do better than anybody else? What do you think that If I was a agent and wanting to come to tell me what you would tell me to come to your agency.
Oh Lord, I don't think I'm the best at it. I guess when we talk about some of our challenges, that's kind of like one of my challenges because, one of the things that I need to work on is letting go and trying to allow people to be able to do more of what what they need to do. But some of the things that have worked for me is like every month I have like a gathering, whether it's a happy hour. Like this month we had a vision board, and everywhere I go, and I'm married now. My husband now, he always has these work things, and everywhere I go, you're always talking about real estate, or they'll come and they'll ask you if you know you're a real estate agent, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, I've been thinking about switching careers or this and that." So if I see that there's somebody who is successful on, in that firm or in that job, I'll invite them to one of our events, like a happy
Hmm.
hour. And so, like this month, we had three people that I had met, and I told them, why don't you just come and just, see what we're all about, and see if this is the environment that you want to be in, the family environment that you want to be in. So I don't even kind of recruit them there. I hear them out, and I'm not as aggressive as other brokers, but I hear them out and I tell them come to one of our events, and most of the time they like it. And because of that, we've already recruited at least once a month. We've been recruiting somebody from that group that has come. And like today, I'm going to be doing a training. Somebody went to our vision board meeting and they loved it. They loved the environment. They loved that family oriented. At the same time, everybody talks about their struggles and how they've overcome it. So even though it's like a meeting, everybody's talking about what they need to implement. And I feel like that environment sells itself. As once once they do decide, then I do the interview process, and I see if it's a good fit, and if it is, then I'll ask them to join the team. So that's kind of what I do for my recruiting. Unconventional,
So
but
it's like more of a family atmosphere. You play the long game. You bring them in. You kind of nurse them, nurture them
yeah,
along, and then yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that. That's you
different
like you said.
approach.
Yeah, everybody has a different approach on how they do that. So we
Yeah,
kind of talked about the future vision of your company, but
yeah.
let's just say 5 years from now, where do you see your company?
So I want to have, so as of right now, most of my agents do residential. I focus more on commercial. I want to really start a commercial division of agents, and uh, it has to be a certain type of agent to do
Mhm.
that. And so I kind of want to recruit more people to do the commercial because I feel like the future of real estate is going to go that way as far as commercial, especially in the Houston area, is how I feel. So I want to grow that division, and I want to be more aggressive on the recruiting. So just talking about how I do it, it's a little bit more, you know, uh, in the family thing, but I do want to grow. I want to grow to the point where, it can run itself. That's where I want to be at, at the point where the company can run itself and they don't even need me anymore. I feel like that's kind of what a successful business is, where the company can run itself. Of course, they're always going to need you because you're the face of it, or you started it. But I want to get to the point where my input is important, but it runs itself. That's where my future. I feel like in 5 years, if I'm going the way that I'm going and recruiting and really teaching these agents or whoever that I feel like, because even within, let's say, my 12, there's always going to be a smaller group where you feel like, hey, this person can potentially help, with the firm and lead the firm, to teach them and be able for them to, kind of take over.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit. So that you basically, I was going to ask where you want to be in 5 years, but I kind of
I'm sorry.
already,
Yeah.
I already know where you want to be. You just
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
be, you always have, one of the things that is a common theme on these podcasts is when people do talk about stepping back, they always need that strong right hand man or, that admin
yeah.
to be able to basically step in your place. Like, I know like Alan, who I work for, he has
Mhm.
a very strong admin. Like she's like the right hand man. Like
Yeah.
she runs it. Nothing, nothing goes to Alan without going through her. So it's pretty. So that's what I always relate it to. So let's talk a little technology. What do
Okay.
you, do you have? Do you use a CRM?
So the CRM that I use, and I actually tell my agents to use it. I mean, for me, it's something simple. It's not that expensive. We use Follow Up. So, I mean, that's one of the CRMs that we use as of right now. Because I'm a smaller firm, I don't have this big budget on a big CRM that I can spend on everybody at the moment. But, you always have to spend money to make money. And that's what I use right now. I use Follow Up. My agents use Follow Up right now. I tried using HubSpot. I don't know if you've ever,
Yeah, I've heard
you
of
know,
it.
yeah. So it's just a little bit more difficult to navigate, in order to do the training. So I needed something that was simple to do it. Although, what's really funny is that, well, I mean, it's not funny, but our MLS here in Houston, they actually are creating a CRM system within their system in order for you to be able to use. I might check it out because if it's part of the dues and it works what we need it to do, I may, use that. But I'm always open to any other CRM that can help,
Do you
make
have a
things easier.
Okay. How about do you have anything that does automatic follow-ups for you, sends out automatic messages? Does that follow up? Does that do it for you?
Yeah, yeah, it
So,
does it all for you.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
That's
yeah, and
good.
it gives me reminders, things like that, and that's one of the things, in this industry and what a lot of the new agents don't understand. It's all about follow up. It's about
Yeah.
following up on the people.
Does it do it like and I'm not really familiar with follow-up. Does it do like if I was to text you, would it send me a message back saying, "Hey, thanks for contacting me," and then walk you through all the way to like virtually could set an appointment for you?
So no, you have to pay a little bit extra for that. But I guess if the agents get that, that busy, they could probably upgrade to that. But I feel like, it does some kind of it does an automated response, but it doesn't do like, oh, you can already set an appointment.
Okay.
Yeah. What
Okay.
CRM do you use? You know,
High level.
high level. Okay.
Yeah, and then on our side, we're creating a chat bot basically to where it'll walk you through and whether you want it to use it for setting appointments through real estate or setting appointments for possible agents to come in. It does it all for you, and all you do is it fills into your calendar.
All right. Is that like something anybody can log in? I'm sorry, I'm interviewing you now. I am
uh,
always open to anything new that's gonna help, make things easier.
Yeah, no, it's a chatbot that one of the co-founders here has created to go along with all the other systems that we
That's
offer.
awesome.
So,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
yeah. So, um, last couple questions. Okay, are you ready? If you could go
I'll
back
try.
to your, if you go back to your younger self,
Yeah.
right before you became a broker owner, minus out the whole, fallout and all that, what's the
Yeah.
two things that you would tell yourself to do before before becoming a broker owner?
Number one is learn to let go. I'm very controlling in a lot of the areas. I think it has to do with the background of having the legal background and knowing how people, that are in partners, they screw people over. I guess the language say, but I see it a lot, and that um, kind of put a mistrust in people. But I would say that not everybody's like that. And in this industry, I have to let go. I have to
Okay.
let go because if not, then I'm gonna overwork myself. So that's one of the things that I would, tell anybody that is in this industry
Mm.
to let go. The other thing that I would definitely tell myself is not to like give up. And because I think that sometimes we get into my mind, and there have been times, in this industry where I'm just like, I'm just gonna give up. I just I can't handle it anymore. But then I push forward, and that has helped me, you know, be to where I am now. So I'm glad that I didn't like, um, stop myself from letting go. And I'm, you know, talking
That
to myself.
self, I'm sure I'm sure there's a lot of days where the self-doubt filled your mind. I mean, anybody
Yeah,
starting a business, at the beginning is probably like, "Oh my God, why'd I do this?"
I
I
know.
could, but hey, it all worked out for you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. I feel like I should have done where I'm at um earlier than, like earlier in my career, because I
yeah.
didn't, I was in real estate for 10 years before I became a broker. I feel like if I would have started earlier, just taking the risk, and I feel like that was always what I was afraid of, taking that risk. I wish I would have taken it earlier because I probably would have been further along than where I am now. But I mean, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you did it though. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Uh, So, all right, book time. I ask everybody this. Personal or business, doesn't matter. What's one book you'd recommend everybody to read?
So a personal book that I read that is Lean In. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard of it, but I think that's one of the things that kind of made me take the leap. So it was more or less a personal book, but I mean, she was one of the founders of Facebook, so she helped force people to kind of just take that leap of faith. That really really helped me personally to just move forward. And there's actually a really good one that has also helped me professionally, which is storytelling, because I think one of the things that kind of messed me up, especially with clients, is um, trying to market ourselves, but they have like 1,000 agents. But if you have a story that you can tell, which you heard mine, and I usually always build a rapport with clients because all of them have gone through some kind of struggle. All of them have gone through something. So even whenever I do, a face to face with them, I share a little bit of myself, just opens them up, and I win them over as a client, and I win them over for life. I mean, I have clients that are 15 years old, and they use me for all their transactions. So those two have been kind of one of the books that have really really helped me.
Okay. Storytelling. I'll check that one out. You're the second or
Yes.
third person about that talked about lean in. So
Yeah, it's a woman. So yeah, but
yeah.
that one has really really that one helped me personally to just take that leap. That kind of I that right before becoming a broker. So um, it helped me
All right.
for
So
sure.
this is this
It is Cheryl Sandberg. So
okay, let me write that down.
yeah, yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, definitely recommend that one. And
Oh,
maybe some people read the book. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do audiobooks because I'm always driving. So I'm
hey.
gonna be honest with you. I used to love reading, but I don't have the time to like sit down and do it. I got three boys. One, I'm always has to do something, but when I'm driving, I'm always listening to audiobooks, and that's one of the ones that one. And right now I'm the audiobook that I'm listening to is Dare to Lead. So that's the one I'm doing right now. And that one's a good one so far.
So you said you had three boys. How old are they?
20-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 14-year-old. So they're
Okay.
all teenagers. And when I started real estate, they were all, babies. They were all small. I mean, this is like 10 years ago, 10
Yeah.
years ago. So one of them was a baby, when I started. And it was difficult, but I did it. So I feel like if I can do it, anybody can do it,
Okay. So this is where this is where you give your shout out, company name, your Instagram. You talked about your podcast, but put that out there, all your socials, all that. So go for it. Ready? Go.
All right, so you can follow me on Instagram as Jen Tex the Broker. So it's JENNTX the Broker. So that's my personal. And then you can follow me on Facebook. It's the same name. On TikTok, it's the same name. And then for our businesses, TX Skyline Properties, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And then the other podcast I'm doing is Her Opinion Show. Same thing, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. And that one talks a little bit about everything, kind of, women topics. We have women entrepreneurs that are on there. I love interviewing them because even though it might be an industry, they have these little nuggets of truth that I, use for myself and for my business. So those are on my social medias there, and they can txskyline.com. They can go on our website, our phone number, can contact us. Always can direct message me, and I respond within 24 hours or less. Or I have a bot. No, I'm kidding. No, I do myself. I I respond myself. So
You need to get a bot.
I
So
know I do need to get a bot. I need to get into that AI. That's what I need to do, like everybody else is doing.
it's the future.